Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This is today, September 10th, 2024, and we will officially open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review. I'm Kenneth Woodson, Board Chair. Everyone has been muted so that we can limit the amount of background information and noise. Several things you should know. The board will introduce itself in a moment, but as we prepare for this hearing, I want you to know that this is a formal hearing. There's a court reporter as well as the Zoom system is recording the meeting. In order to maintain a clear record, we must not talk over one another. Each individual will be given an opportunity to present their case. We want everyone to get a fair hearing, and so just be patient with us. You all invited to attend at the same time, which means that some of you may need to wait for an hour or so until your case is called. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are. This is formal. Therefore, no eating, no drinking, no reclining in your easy chair, no sleeping in your bed. Please be dressed properly. If you're in a vehicle, you must be stopped in a safe place. If you aren't, we will not hear your case. So this is as if you were in a courtroom. We expect that you will defer to the rules of procedure that we've established to maintain a smooth and orderly hearing. Again, I'm Kenneth Woodson. I would invite my fellow board members and staff to introduce themselves.
I'm Steve Pettit, board member.
Roger S. Tennant, Senior, board member.
Beverly Penn, board member.
I'm Sherry, board counsel.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
Thank you. We will also call on the law department in a moment to read off a list of matters that have been resolved. Some of them will be labeled as moot or moot complied. So I ask that everyone would pay close attention. So if your address is called or your name is called and is listed as moot or moot complied, that means you're done for the day. Your matter has been resolved to the satisfaction of the board and the law department. If you need an explanation as to the distinction between moot and moot complied, please call the board administrator's office and they will explain it to you. Please do not break into an existing hearing. We have a long list of cases. We want everyone to be heard, but we can't allow for interruptions. So if you need information, call the administrator if you need to understand why your case is moot or moot compliant. Thank you very much. So now we will hear from the law department.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kelly. What do you have for us today?
Starting with number 1, 2022-348, 7401 Edmund Street, Paul Santos, doing business as 7401 Edmund Street, LLC, withdrawn by the appellant.
Thank you.
Number 2, 2023-3083, 7401 Edmund Street, Paul Santos, doing business as 7401 Edmund Street, LLC, withdrawn by appellant.
Thank you.
Number 3, 2023-3950, 7401 Edmund Street, Paul Santos, doing business as 7401 Edmund Street, LLC, withdrawn by appellant.
Thank you.
Number 4, 2023-3717, 88 Sparks Street, Quang Kang / Johnny Lee, moot complied.
Thank you. Moot complied? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Moot complied. Number 6, 2023-3758, 1233 North Myrtlewood Street, Rachel Lester, doing business as Inhabit Properties LLC, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 10, 2023-3891, 2439 North Myrtlewood Street, Ronald Thomas, doing business as Young, Educated, and Smart LLC, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 11, 2023-3898, 17th Arch and JFK, Yoram Yohuna. It's an agreement combined with the next case, which is the same appellant, same location, for a city affirm with a $300 fine total.
City affirm 300 combined for
It's
both matters.
$300 between that and the next case.
Okay, please enter the appeal number for the next matter.
Absolutely. Number 13, 2023 dash.
No.
Number 12.
Number 12. Yeah.
2023-3899, 17th Arch and JFK, Yoram Yohuna.
Thank you.
Number 14, 2023-3932, 1617 West Page Street, Mary McNatt, that's been withdrawn by the appellant. It's also moot complied.
Withdrawn and move compliant. Okay, thank you.
Number 15, 2023-3942, 2536 Annan Street, Kevin Wright, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 16, 2023-3947, 2409 North 24th Street, Brad Wilson. That's an agreement for a city affirm 30-day stay of enforcement.
30-day stay. Thank you.
Number 17, 2023-3948, 3002 Titan Street, Melissa and D. Robert Freeman. That's an agreement for a city affirm and a 180-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you.
Number 18, 2023-3962, 6635 Lotus Road, Eugene Williamson, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 19, 2023-3963, 6635 Lotus Road, Eugene Williamson. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $100 fine.
Thank you.
Number 20, 2023-3974, 1501 North Hollywood Street, George Owen Justin Roberts III. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
90-day stay. Thank you.
Number 22, 2023-4008, 1428 West Toronto Street, Spiritual Assembly of Baha'is of Philadelphia. That's been withdrawn by the appellant and also is moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 24, 2023-4028, 1325 Morris Street, Bella Remodeling LLC, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 25, 2023-4036, 6360 Jackson Street, Sylvia Johnson, moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 27, 2023-4060, 337 East Upsall Street, Cynthia Robertson, moot complied.
Move compliant. Okay. Thank you.
Number 28, 2023-4063, 1826 North 27th Street, Danielle Smith, that's been withdrawn by the appellant.
Thank you.
Number 30, 2023-4099, 7709 Germantown Avenue, Non-Such LLC, that was written in error.
Okay. Thank you.
Number 31,
Marking that moot.
yes, that can be moved. 2023, number 31, 2023-4122, 1499 66th Avenue, Robert Labrier, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 32, 2023-4198, 4802 North 11th Street, Veronica Branch, moot complied.
Thank you.
2020, number 33, 2023-4306, 2823 Wharton Street, Jonathan Maban, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 35, 2024-2224, 2131 North 18th Street, Nasira Abdul Adar, that's been withdrawn by the appellant.
That's number 35. But-
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, 35. And the last one that I have, number 38, 2024-3438, 3231 Kensington Avenue, Sada Sal. That's an agreement for a city affirm and a 45-day stay of enforcement.
45-day stay. Okay. Thank
I
you.
do believe that some of my colleagues may have additional matters.
Okay. All righty. As is our existing procedure, please use the raise hand sign. I will call on you as I see them. I have a raised hand from Ms. Kristen Paschal. Ms. Paschal?
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson. I just wanted to briefly correct the record as to number 28.
28?
Yes, 2023-004063 pertaining to a Danielle Smith. This was withdrawn by the department, not by the appellant.
Withdrawn by department. Okay. All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, Mr. Jeffrey Cohen.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm here representing the city for case number 34. That's Pack Pizza Incorporated The principal, Mohammed Farouk, filed the petition for the appeal. The counsel for the appellant had requested a continuance yesterday, which I believe this board would need to rule on before we would be able to move forward.
Okay, is the council present, what is the council's name? I don't see his name listed here.
I am here. Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Martin Pesner.
Pesner? Okay. I just need you to formally put your name on the record.
Sure. Martin Pesner. I'm here for Pack Pizza Incorporated,
Okay,
premises 1916 Welsh Road, Philadelphia.
okay. And you formally requesting a continuance? What's the basis of the request?
I was officially retained yesterday, and I just need an opportunity to, prepare for the
Okay, well, I understand there's several serious matters. One, there's an intent to cease that's outstanding that we need to rule on quickly as we can. But the second thing is there's also you need to be aware that there's a time in this matter that will be brought once we hear this case. So as you approach both these matters, you need to be aware of where we are. What's the city's position on this, Mr. Cohen?
The city opposes a continuance. This actually was an emergency request by Pack Pizza. That was the emergency request and the appeal were both filed on August 5th, and on the basis of the owner of the property, the operator of the store at the property, not the owner of the property, was awaiting a health department inspection to move forward with a food license application. That inspection was held and failed on August 6th, and there has been no subsequent inspection yet. So the city would like the board to please consider this case today so that the cease can move forward, because one, this property or this particular restaurant and its operator do not have a food license, meaning they do not have the right under the law to serve food. And two, they have not passed a health inspection, which is a prerequisite to getting a food license.
Okay. Now,
So-
are they operating, Mr. Cohen?
Yes, as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Now that can be remedied outside of the issue of the cease being determined by this board, can't it?
If
Oh, sorry,
Go ahead,
Mr. President.
if I could just add something,
Yes.
Chairman, they are waiting for a reinspection as we sit here today.
Okay, but they don't have a food license yet, correct?
Correct.
And they shouldn't be operating, period, regardless of whether they pass the next inspection or not. But Mr. Cohen, that's why I'm asking you, Mr. Cohen. The issue of the operations can be resolved fairly easily by the department.
Well, it's my understanding that the only issue that is at issue here today is the intent to cease, meaning the city is seeking a city affirm today so that the cease can be put in place so that their food operations will not be operating until they pass food inspection and obtain their food license.
Yeah, but
The other issues that are cited in the notice of violation have actually been complied. The sole remaining issue in that notice of violation is the lack of a food license,
okay.
which
What
sort
I'm
of
asking you,
addresses the
though,
board's untimeliness issue.
yeah, what I'm asking you though is if a food establishment has not been lawfully licensed by the health department, that institution can be shut down immediately without this board making a decision or having a hearing.
It's the city's position that it would complicate such an effort if this intent to cease matter were still pending.
Okay, my problem is that council's just retained yesterday. I'm not sure if he's prepared, able
Well,
to
I-
proceed. That's the problem.
While I am sympathetic to the position that the appellant has put Mr. Pesner in, it was the appellant's choice not to hire an attorney
Understood.
until the last minute.
Understood.
So the appellant should be held to account regardless of Mr. Pesner's
understood.
position.
Let's do this. I'm going to take a moment. I hate to have to do this, but I need to consult with board's counsel. So would you, Mr. Wade, can you put us in a breakout room? We're going to go off the record for a moment. I need to consult with board counsel.
You still have the breakout room.
Okay, thank you. Continuance in this. With regard to request for continuance in this matter, we're going to continue. We have a date of 9/24/24 that it will be relisted. So, Mr. Pezza, you'll need to be prepared to move forward if you aren't able to negotiate anything with Mr. Cohen on behalf of the city. Okay, so
All
this
right.
matter will be listed as continued. All right, thank you. This is
Thank you.
number 34.
Thank you.
That's
Members of the board, if I could-
003-239.
if I could make a request, members of the board, if it could be
Yes.
listed as must be tried for the petitioner or the appellant on that date.
Must be tried, will be so noted. Thank
Thank
you.
you kindly.
Okay, alrighty. Does anyone else have a matter? Mr. Router?
Thank you, members of the board. May it please the board, Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia. Number 29 on the list, HA 2023-004075, 1112 Grant Avenue. That matter can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Also, and I would just like to note, number 21, 4704 North Fifth Street. I would just, it's either going to be just continued or we were trying to reach an agreement, but I hadn't heard back from counsel for the appellant, Mr. Quinones. If he's here, I would ask maybe we could be put into a breakout room, but
Okay.
I don't see him. If he's not here, then we will agree to a 30-day continuance or
Has
whatever.
it been a formal request for continuance?
It was, I think we had offered to have it marked city affirmed with a stay of enforcement, and we were kind of going back and forth, but we didn't reach. He said he'd agree to a continuance, but I'm not sure if he misunderstood that the.
Well, let's do this. Let's formally call the case and see
Okay.
if he's here, and then we'll decide how to dispose of it. Okay, Mr. Wade, would you call the case, please?
Number 21,
Yes.
case number 21, hearing appeal ending 4005, 4704 North Fifth Street.
And who's the appellant?
Leo QB LLC.
Okay, I believe that appellant is represented by William Quinones. Is anyone present? Anyone present?
Okay, I'm not hearing response, and therefore.
Okay, just before you, just for a moment, Mr. Router. Mr. Wade, would you confirm service, please?
Can you give me one moment?
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I believe the appellant is Legal QB LLC, not Leo.
Oh, legal. Okay, legal.
Legal QB LLC listed 4704 North Fifth Street as its appellant's address, and William Quinones listed 4704 North Fifth Street. Also, notice of this hearing was sent to both Legal QB and William Quinones at 4704 North Fifth Street on August 5th, 2024.
Okay, all right, Mr. Router, what is your pleasure? What would you want us to do?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I've been in communication with Mr. Quinones. I think there was just simply a misunderstanding of what we were going to put on the record. So to give him the benefit of the doubt, I'll just ask for a continuance
Okay.
of that case. It could be short, 30 days, whatever fits the board schedule is fine.
Okay, so we'll note this matter is continued to be listed as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jim Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson. I just briefly for number 7, 9304 Voigts Lane, Ludmila Koval. I see that case requires a interpreter. I was just wanted to see if the appellant was here, and if so, if I could enter a breakout room with the interpreter and the appellant.
Okay, let me ask 2 questions. Mr. Rain, do we have the interpreter present?
The interpreter was ordered. I'm looking right now. Is there an interpreter on the call?
Okay, we aren't getting a response. So let's do this, Mr. Kelly, because we aren't getting a response from an interpreter. Let's proceed with the other matters.
There is an interpreter on the call. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want to, what number is this? This is the
Number 7.
number 7. I'll call the case and
Well,
then.
but before you do that, just give the interpreter some instructions. We need to see him and we need his name, etc.
Nikolai?
Yes.
Yes, you need to turn your camera on.
Okay. Yeah. Just. I'm here.
Sir, we need your full name. Spell your last name.
My last name is Dorokov. D as in dog. O R Dorokhov.
Okay. And how is that pronounced?
Dorokhov.
Duracle. Okay. Alrighty. Well, Miss Duracle, what we need you to do at this point, we need you to announce the case as Mr. Wade reads it and ask the appellant to present himself. Mr. Wade?
Case number 7, hearing appeal ending 3812, 9304 Voights Lane. Live.
Interpret.
Yeah. Just a second. Write it down. Could you read the case number again, please?
Case number 7, hearing appeal ending 3812, 9304 Voights Lane.
Итак, сейчас зараз буде слухання по справі номер 7 по адресі 3812. Я там адресу не зрозумів.
Okay, sir, you need to speak up and speak clearly. We can barely hear you. And actually, one thing that I neglected to do, let me do this now. If you raise your right hand, I need to swear you in, so you're formally sworn. Please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Mr. Nikolai Dorokhov, do you swear or affirm that you will faithfully translate between English and Ukrainian the proceedings in this matter regarding 6304 Voights Lane, Ludmila Koval?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Now let's start all over again. What will happen each time that English is spoken regarding this matter, we need you to interpret so that the appellant potentially will hear this and respond appropriately. And so you will be the appellant's voice, and you will also be their ears in English. And so everything we say, you need to interpret. So Mr. Wade will read the case out. You will interpret that in Ukrainian until we get through this. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I just need you to speak up and speak loudly so we can hear you. Mr. Wade, let's read it again.
Case number 7, hearing appeal ending 3812, 9304 Voights Lane, Ludmila Koval.
Зараз буде слухання по справі 7, апеляція 3812 по адресі 9304 Voights Lane. Людмила Коваль.
Thank you. Miss Lubida Kamal, present. Is that person present?
Людмила Коваль присутня на слуханні?
Anyone present representing the interests of 9304 Voights Lane?
Хтось присутній на слуханні, хто представляє інтереси 9304 Voights Lane?
Okay. All right, Mr. Wade, would you confirm service, please?
I cannot.
You cannot. Okay.
Service was sent to 9301 Voights Lane. So we'll continue for service.
Interpreter?
Представництво не підтверджене. Справа буде переслана по адресі 9301 Voights Lane і для того, щоб її продовжити.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, if no one is responding, what is your preference?
Mr. Chair, the service is not confirmed. The notice
Okay.
was sent to 9401, not 9404.
Oh.
9301.
Okay. So we have a service problem, so we're going to need to continue this.
Yes, unfortunately.
Справа не буде, слухання не буде проведено, бо немає присутнього представника за адресою 9401 Voights Lane.
Okay. Mr. Kelly, are you prepared? We will have to continue this matter.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, will this matter be noted as continued? That's 2023-003-812-9304 Voights Lane, Ludmila Koval is continued. We will reschedule and, of course, have an interpreter present when we reschedule the matter. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. You're done for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any issues, preliminary matters before we go to the case? There's a person raising their hands. Ma'am, unmute yourself. What is the issue? You're muted. Ma'am, what is your issue?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Danielle Smith, and my case was already called. However, I am a layman, and that kind of went quick. I was just wondering if that could be reiterated to me so that I can understand what the position of the city was, because it went kind of fast and I did not hear it.
You didn't hear it at all?
I heard it, I did not understand it.
Okay, now what was the instructions we gave everyone if you didn't understand?
Well, I raised my hand, the lady showed up and she said something that I didn't understand, and you moved
I
quickly
can
to
put you in
another
a
case.
breakout. I can put you in a breakout room with the attorney that's handling it.
Okay, we'll put you in the breakout room, okay? And they'll
Thank you,
explain it
sir.
to you. Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
There was one appellant that appeared to be in the hospital. I wanted to call that matter.
Okay,
The appellant is listed as NIR, NER.
what number is that?
We don't know. They're unidentified and they are in it appears to be a hospital.
Okay,
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes, what matter are you here for?
The 110 Pheasant Hill Drive, but I have my lawyer.
He's here. Near's with me. Near, you don't have to. You can. I Katerina. David Orphanides is representing them. So we're just.
Oh,
waiting.
okay.
We're going to be dealing with that case with Amy Skiles.
Okay, all right.
Good.
Okay, we'll call on you in regular order. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Okay, if there's nothing else preliminary to be discussed, the board may have a few matters that we want to gain some clarity on, so I'll do that, and then we'll get to the list itself. Number 8, appeal number 2023-003873, 4131 Barnett Street, Choice Rentals LLC. Who's representing that matter for the city?
Present.
Who's the attorney for the city? Who's the city attorney for that matter? Number 8.
That is me, Brian Kiger, on behalf of the city.
Okay, Ryan. Okay, thank you. The issue here is that who's the appellate person who identified themselves? Is that Jessica Joyce, Choice Renters? Okay, madam, this is a LLC.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you realize that you're required to have legal counsel to appeal the matter before this board, correct?
No, they did not make that specific to us.
Did you read the instructions on the letter that you got? It says very clearly that you're required to have a counsel if you're LLC or the corporate entity. So you cannot represent the interest.
Does not state that, sir. Can I read it to you?
No, if you read clearly, we won't do that now. Take your time and read it. But the point is that we can't hear your case without a lawyer representing the LLC. You can't do it as an individual. Understand? We'll have to continue this matter. Mr. Kiger, you understand?
Yes, Board Member Woodson, this matter is moot complied.
It is?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that resolves all of that.
Yes.
If it's moot complied. Okay, so let's let the record reflect then the current status of the case before we move on. HA 2023-003873 4131 Barnett Street, Choice Rentals LLC. That matter is noted as moot complied. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, Ms. Joyce, Jessica Joyce, Choice Rentals. Please read that in detail in case you ever have a matter before the board again. You must be represented by legal counsel, okay?
I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay. Board chair. All right. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Okay. So that's okay. That's all represents the issues for the board. So I think, Mr. Wade, we can start with the list. Do we have any that need to be called out of order?
As long as Mr. Orphanides is okay with number 36 being called in the normal course, then we will start with number 5.
I mean,
Okay.
I guess I guess the only thing is whether they're, I mean, to save us all time, I'm sorry to interrupt, is whether or not, based upon Amy Skiles, who's the attorney for the city, she was out yesterday and we had a very brief opportunity to speak prior to this meeting this afternoon, and whether we had discussed the possibility, because of the specifics of this matter, of requesting a 2-week continuance to see if we could have a discussion, get everybody on the same page, regarding what the specific issues are, whether, you know, they exist,
Okay.
don't exist, and how that they might be addressed, and save the boards a lot of time down the road. I see Amy now nodding her head.
Okay.
And if that's I have consulted with my client who you saw with his wife in the hospital. They just gave birth to their child yesterday, another child yesterday. Congratulations. And but we would I think that would be time well spent the next 2 weeks
Okay.
that could hopefully resolve this matter and put everybody on the path towards getting this thing taken care of.
Ms. Skiles, what is your position?
I have no objection to that. There is there's a stop work order in place. As long as that remains in place for the next 2 weeks while we work something out, I have no objection to continuing this for a further 2 weeks to try to work something out.
Okay, Mr. Wade, would you read the matter in and then we will, for the record, state the status?
Case 37, hearing appeal ending 34.
36. I believe it's
Does
36.
this cover 36 and 37?
Yes,
Yeah,
it will.
there's 2 cases. One's of the violations, one's of the the permit revocation, one's a stop work order.
Okay,
Case 36, hearing appeal ending 3427, 110 Pheasant Hill Drive, near and YEKATERINA Barzilay. That matter will be marked continued.
Now, is that the date of 9/24 again? Like the prior emergency? This was an emergency listing as well. Can we get
well,
that?
I can't set the date now. I'll ask Mr. Wade to work with you to set a date.
Oh, I just heard the 9/24 with the other.
That was for that particular case in that matter. Okay, but that doesn't apply to every case we continue today. So he'll have to check the list to see what's available if we can squeeze it in or not. Okay. Mr. Wade, also read the next matter in because it's also related to this.
Case 37, hearing appeal ending 3428, 110 Pheasant Hill Drive, near and YEKATERINA Barzilay.
Okay, that matter is also continued. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, Mr. Wade, what should we do next?
Case number 5, hearing appeal ending 3756, 4212 East Howell Street, Cheryl Mangan.
Okay,
Good afternoon, members of the board. Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
good afternoon, Mr. Reuter. Okay, and anyone present representing Cheryl Mangan, Mangan. Cheryl Mangan. Okay, anyone present representing the interests of 4212 East Howell Street, HOWELL. Okay, Mr. Wade, there's someone on the Sansa Miss.
Yes, it's me. I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute it. I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, we'll also need to change your label so that we know who you are. And your name, ma'am?
Cheryl Mangan. I don't know how. This is the first time I've ever used Zoom. I don't know how to do any of it.
Give me a second.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, now, are you the owner of the 4212 East Howell Street?
Yes.
Are there any other names on the deed besides yours?
My mother. She passed away 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and, okay. And your name and her name appear on the deed?
Yes, she's Linda Mangan.
Okay. All right. We have maybe an issue. Mr. Reuter, any issues with ownership here?
I don't see any problem. She's the heir, presumably the heir to the property
Yeah, when
by operational law, so.
Unless there are other heirs. Are there other heirs involved?
No,
No?
no.
Okay. Mr. Rutter, you don't have a copy of the death certificate or anything, do you?
Oh, me? No, no. I mean, if it just happened 2 days
I'm
ago, and I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And next week I'm actually driving to Texas to pick up our ashes and the death certificate. So
Okay. All right. And you said this happened 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks.
2
The
weeks ago.
25th. Yeah, August 25th. It was a Sunday.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Well, let us proceed then. Mr. Rutter, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, I have, sorry, Inspector Carrie Withers. See if she's on.
I'm here.
Okay. Inspector Withers, would you we'll put your video on so we can see you?
It is on. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. We can't see you. There you
Oh,
are.
there he is.
Okay. Sir, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. There's a slight echo, Mr. Withers. I'm not sure whether the volume is up really high or there's something else happening, but we may need to make an adjustment of some sort. Okay, Mr. Rutter, please proceed.
Thank you. Inspector, could you just state how long you've been with the city of Philadelphia?
I'm with the city of Philadelphia for 31 years with license and inspections for 7 years.
And what's your title with the department?
Code enforcement inspector.
And how long you been doing that?
7 years now.
Okay, and then the course and scope of your duties in code enforcement, did you become familiar with the property at 4212 East Howell Street?
Yes.
Okay, and you went out there for an inspection?
Yes.
Okay, and do you recall when that was?
That was on 8/16, I believe.
Okay, and
8/15, I'm sorry.
Okay, and when you went out on the inspection, what did you observe?
The complaint was for a fence that was over 4 feet, which was placed in the front of the property. And when I arrived at the property, I noticed that there's a fence which is over 4 feet, which encompasses some of the front of the property and the side.
Okay, I'm going to try to share my screen with the board's permission.
Please.
Okay, just do that. All right, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Inspector, is this what you saw?
Yes.
Okay, and could you just describe, just so we have it in the transcript, what we're looking at?
This is the fence that was the complaint was about. Seems to be about in between a 5 and 6 foot fence. It's not opaque, so you can't see through it. A solid fence.
Okay, and is that permitted by the code?
No, you would have to have a zoning permit for anything over 4 feet.
Okay, and prior to the fence being up, was there had there been a permit for a fence?
Yes, there is a permit for a fence, but that permit is for a chain link fence that's 6 feet high for the side and rear of the property.
Okay, and this fence, the fence that we were looking at is clearly not a chain link fence, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And when were you out there most recently? Just so we have, was that August 16th or have you been there since then?
No, I've been there since then. Most recently was I believe it was September the 5th.
Okay. And was the fence still there?
Yes.
Okay, and do you see any permit applications in the system indicating an attempt to try to legalize the fence?
No, I don't.
Okay, I don't have any further questions for Inspector Withers.
Okay, Ms. Mangan, do you have any cross-examination questions for the inspector?
I mean, no, I thought I had to wait for the appeal before I did anything.
No,
not
it's
really-
always good to start whatever you're going to do before you get to the appeal.
Okay.
So based on Mr. Withers' testimony, do you have any questions for him? I mean, this is your
Yeah,
opportunity to question him.
The question about the permit for the 6-foot chain link fence, I don't know what that is. I never applied for anything for that.
No, this was from a owner, Michael J. Curran, and
Oh,
this zoning permit is for 8/25/2006, and
okay.
that was when a fence was applied for.
Okay, yes, the previous owner.
Mhm.
Okay, so the fence permit was for the previous owner. Okay. Okay.
Hello, hello.
All right, thank you. So we will, any other questions do you have for Mr. Withers? Ms. Mangan, any other questions do you have for Mr. Withers?
I mean, what would I do from here on out?
Okay, well, we'll get to you. If you don't have any questions, that's okay. We will ask the city to complete its case, then you can put your case on, given that this is your appeal. Okay. All right, Mrs. Ryder, anything else?
Sure. We don't have any other testimony to put on. I'll just do closing now and just say the
Well,
city.
not just yet, Mr. Ryder. I just want to hear from Ms. Mangan
I can-
first before you do that.
All right.
Ms. Mangan, so this is your appeal, so tell us why this notice of violation is improper.
Well, we put the fence up for a few reasons. One was for my children to keep them safe, and the secondly was we wanted to have a driveway put in because our cars keep getting broken into. It was more to protect our property, and I didn't cover the front of the house. I kept that anybody can come up to the front, knock on the door. There's 3 ways to get into the yard in case of an emergency. It was only the side yard for privacy for my children. That was the only reason for it. Like I said, I'm for the protection, like just get a driveway. I didn't cover the front of the house. I matched my neighbor's house. There's people all around my neighborhood that have everything covered completely. You can't even get to the front door. So when I did this, it was just considered the side yard. I didn't cover the front of the property. So I just was a little bit confused.
Well, someone complained, and so did you?
I know who did it. I know who complained.
Okay,
He
but the
complained
issue
about
is,
me, but
the issue is this, since this is your appeal, you understand what the code says, correct?
I thought I couldn't cover the front of the house, which is
Well,
why we
it
did it
isn't-
from the side.
It isn't quite that simple, but it's still over 4 foot. And it's
Okay.
opaque, you can't see through it.
Okay.
So did your contractor attempt to pull a permit for the work?
No. I do have a question. You're saying opaque. So if I was to put a 6-foot metal, like a metal fence that I can't think, the rails, like the railing, if it's 6 foot, because it's seen through, it would be allowed?
The code, well, you have to read the code, and the code says very specifically what you can install and what's required. Have you had any conversations with the inspector, Mr. Withers, to talk about how to resolve matters?
I don't know if there was a different guy. There was a different inspector. There was one from the beginning, and then somebody contacted me a couple months ago. He said he had taken over, so I'm not really sure which one.
Did you talk to that person about how to resolve matters?
No, I just asked, what do I do? He said, you got to wait for the appeal. This is the second man.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ryder, any cross-examination?
Ms. Mangan, did you or friends of yours put up the fence, or did you have a contractor put that up?
I had a company do it.
Okay. So I don't have any further questions for Ms. Mangan.
Okay. All righty.
So-
We have final argument, Mr. Ryder?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Ms. Mangan has, admitted that the fence was put up, that there were no permits. She did hire somebody who presumably should have obtained the permits, but that didn't happen. I can confirm some of what she said, which is that one of the neighboring properties has a fence that is nearly identical and frankly is somewhat larger, at least in terms of the perimeter being bigger. So she has 2 choices. She can take the fence down, which probably, given the nature of the fence, actually wouldn't be a particularly big operation, or she can submit a permit application for zoning permit to legalize the fence. So we would just simply ask that the case be marked city affirmed. If the board wants to give additional time to stay enforcement, that's okay. This is obviously not a safety issue, but we would, it doesn't seem like there's really any contest to the substance of the violation.
Okay. Just one moment.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Someone keeps breaking in. I'm not sure who that is. Mr. Wade, if you can mute that person. Okay. All right, before we vote, ma'am, do you have any final comments you'd like to make?
I mean, if it's necessary, they take it down. I guess I just need to, reading codes is difficult for me. If I could speak to somebody who could tell me what is allowed. Like I said, I thought about changing up my cameras. I actually don't see over the camera. I'm sorry,
Okay.
don't see over the fence.
We can't give you advice because we are not your lawyers, but I would advise you to this degree, that you talk to the contractor, who should be very familiar with Philadelphia codes in terms of what's permitted. And also call the inspector, either talk to Mr. Withers or the other person. They could both tell you what the code says. Okay?
So Mr. Withers, okay.
Yep. Either he or the person who did the other two people that you communicated with. Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to call the vote on this matter. HA 2023-003756, 4212 East Howell Street, Cheryl Mangan. City affirmed with a 200-day stay of enforcement.
200 day.
City affirm with a 200-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed with a 200-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed with a 200-day stay of enforcement.
Okay. Ms. Mangan, what we did is affirm the city's position that the violation was properly written. However, we're giving you 200 days to come to a solution as to how to fix things. Given the circumstances in your household and how things have recently took a turn for worse, we also need to give you time to deal with that. But 200 days should be sufficient time for you to talk, either decide to put an appeal in to the zoning board to get what you have legalized, or change the fence.
Okay, so zoning board to legalize.
And stay in touch with the inspectors so they can, they need to understand how you're proceeding, okay?
Okay, is there, I don't have a number on here, a contact number for Mr. Withers? 'Cause I
Mr.
would like
Withers?
to call him later, maybe to see.
Sure, well,
what
let's
some questions on, like, changing.
have a response from him. Mr. Withers, is there a way for you to be connected with the appellant?
Yes, there is. My work cell is 267-438-7510. And you also can reach me by email. That's Kerry, KERRY .withers, WITHERS @phila.gov.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I spoke to you first.
Wait. Did you have that information, correct?
Yes, Kerry
Okay.
Withers @phil.gov.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you very
Withers,
much.
yes.
Okay, that concludes this matter.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Withers, you are excused. Ms. Mangan, you excused as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Alrighty. Mr. Wade, what's our next matter?
I'd like to recall matter number 7, hearing appeal ending 3812, 9304 Voights Lane.
Well, we don't have the interpreter.
We don't have the interpreter, but the appellant has since joined. If they can understand that the
Now,
case continues.
without the interpreter, we can't do that. You can
Okay.
talk them off. You can do it on either breakout room or offline, but not on the record.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what's the next matter that we want to address?
Case number 9,
Okay.
hearing appeal ending 3854, 324 North 10th Street, Miai Nu Zhao.
Okay. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Amy Skiles on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, Ms. Skiles, before we proceed, Mr. Kelly has his hand. Mr. Kelly, is something pressing that you need? You're muted, sir.
It was from the same, I was just going to raise my hand to point that out about the appellant that was. That it
Oh,
should-
okay.
Oh, all good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Skiles.
Yes, yeah, Amy Skiles on behalf of the city for this matter. I do have one witness, Inspector Bruce Wallace.
Is Mr. Wallace present?
Yes, I do see him on the call.
Okay, Mr. Wallace, I don't see you yet. Please present yourself.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All righty. Raise your right hand, sir, so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Is the appellant present? Nu Zhao.
Yes, present. Yeah.
Okay. All righty, sir. If you would you kindly pronounce your name so that we can stop butchering it? Would you pronounce your name, sir?
Mei Niu Zhao.
Mei Niu Zhao.
MEINUGHAO.
Mei Niu Zhao. Okay.
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand, sir, so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yeah.
Is that yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd ask that you speak louder so that the court reporter can hear you.
Okay, yes.
All right, thank you very much. You can place your hand down. Okay, Ms. Giles, please proceed.
Yes, okay. Inspector Wallace, where are you currently employed? Oh, you're on mute, Inspector Wallace.
I'm sorry, the City of Philadelphia Licenses and Inspection.
Okay, and what are some of your roles and responsibilities with the Department of License and Inspections?
I'm a code enforcement inspector, so I inspect existing buildings, structures, parking garages, parking lots, anything
Okay.
existing, basically.
Okay. And throughout the course of your duties with the department, have you become familiar with the property at 324 North 10th Street?
That's correct.
And how did you become familiar with that property?
I actually inherited the case file. I was transferred to this district, and the previous inspector prior to me was transferred out, and we basically swapped workloads.
Okay, but you personally have inspected the property?
Yes, just recently.
Just recently. And have you observed violations of the code at the property?
Yes.
And what violations of the code have you observed there?
Just one moment, Mr. Wallace. Someone is speaking and should be muted. That Samsung SM, I believe, is the culprit. Mr. Wade, see if you can mute that individual.
Got it.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Wallace, please.
Could you repeat that question, please?
Yes. I asked if you testified that you have visited the property, and I asked if you had observed violations of the code at the property, and you're about to describe if you have observed violations of the code there.
So again, the original case was issued for actually operating the parking space as a parking lot. Upon my inspection, it was different cars there. So it was the case that was rewritten. And basically, yes, there were different cars parked on the lot at the time of observation.
Okay. And now with the board's permission, I will share my screen.
Okay, please.
Okay. Now, Inspector Wallace, can you see what is on my screen?
Yes.
And what is this document that is labeled City Exhibit 1?
That looks like the notice of violation, order to correct.
Okay.
That was
And
sent to the owner.
You sent it to the owner? Okay. And the property in violation is 324 North 10th Street?
Correct.
Okay. And what violations of the code did you cite in this notice of violation?
Well, again, I just reissued the case that was already written.
Okay.
So the violations were, the case was written a year prior to me receiving it.
Mhm.
So at the time of reinspection, the violations were still existing that were written on the previous case. So the
Mhm.
previous case was closed and reissued.
Okay. And
So the
so,
violations, I apologize. The violations, just to concur what you were saying, were they were written for the owner of that property to obtain a parking lot license.
okay. And in addition to obtaining a parking lot license, a commercial activity license would be required to rent spaces at a parking lot as well.
Correct. A commercial activity license is required to conduct any business in the city of Philadelphia.
Okay. And so now I will move on to some photographs that you have taken. Can you identify what is in this photograph?
This is the parking lot. There are individual spaces marked on the sidewalk. As you can see, there are 2 vehicles in this picture.
And you took this picture, it was about a year ago, August 25th of 2023?
Yes.
And at that inspection, what led you to believe this lot was being used for commercial purposes?
Well, the numbers that are marked on the ground, if it was a personal parking lot, what would you need numbers to signify which parking spaces are which? There is a tow sign that you can see that's hanging in the picture, and there are also cameras mounted above that tow sign also.
Okay. So now I'm going to show you City Exhibit 3, which is a photograph taken from Atlas from October 18th of 2023. What's different about this photograph?
Vehicles.
There are more vehicles?
More vehicles.
Okay. And that also, the number of vehicles, does that also lead you to believe this is being used for commercial purposes, not just personal use?
Yes.
Okay. And now I'll move on to City Exhibit 4. When was your most recent inspection?
My most recent inspection was November 4th, 2024.
Do you mean September 4th?
I'm sorry, September 4th. I apologize.
Okay,
September 4th.
no problem. And these photographs, were these photographs that were taken September 4th of 2024?
That's correct.
Okay. And are there more vehicles in this photograph than there were at your previous inspection a year ago?
Maybe the same amount of vehicles, but not the same vehicles and make and model.
Not
So
the
if you
same.
can see this picture, these two videos are BMW. The picture prior to this picture was not a BMW. I think it was a Subaru or a Hyundai.
I can scroll up.
So this picture that picture we're looking at right there, you have a blue vehicle, which might be a Hyundai, and a small SUV. They are not the pictures that were taken on September the 4th.
Okay. Okay. And so this is how the lot appeared on September 4th of
That is
2024. And what else do we see in this photograph?
Other vehicles different from the pictures that were taken previously. You see a picture of a Tucson. I'm not quite sure what the gentleman was doing in the picture, but the Tucson and different vehicles, yes.
Okay. And here we can see more vehicles as well as the cameras that have been installed on the lot.
Yes, cameras, Tucson, just a different angle of the vehicles. It's just a different picture, just so that you can see the Tucson and the cameras that are mounted on the property.
Okay. And that's just a close-up of the tow sign?
Yes, that actually requires zoning as well.
Okay. And that's just a close-up of the cameras that are at the lot?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and so then based on your observations of the cars and the numbered spots, you are, based on your observations, you're led to believe that this lot's used for commercial purposes.
Correct.
And that would require a parking lot license
And a commercial activity license.
and a commercial. And at this point, is there a parking lot license issued to this property?
No.
And is there a commercial activity license attached to this property?
No.
No, okay. I have no further questions for Inspector Wallace at this time. I offer for cross.
Okay, Mrs. Zhao, do you have any questions, cross-examination questions for the inspector?
Yeah, good comment.
Hi, I am Vincent. I am the son of Menu Zhao.
Yeah, but we need only the appellant can speak.
Okay, sorry.
Is there, well, before you, sir, is there an issue of understanding English language? Should we have had an interpreter?
Oh, okay, I understand a little bit. It's we use that parking lot for the personal parking because we are Chinese. That parking lot is a closed Chinatown, so we in and out also.
Okay, sir, no. I'm asking you, do you have any questions for the Inspector Wallace, based on his testimony?
Okay, my question is we use for the personal parking, we still for the commercial license because we don't rent that out. If we rent that
Okay, but that's
out-
not a question. Do you have a question? Do you have a question for him?
Oh, the question I need to know is why we need the commercial license for the
Okay,
personal
let him
parking.
respond. Let Mr. Wallace, what is your response to the question as to why they need a commercial license?
If he's asking why does he need a commercial activity license for you
Yes.
to conduct any business in the city of Philadelphia?
Yes, that's what he's asking.
So if you're using this space as a personal, as a commercial space, and you're charging people rent to rent those spaces, you need a commercial activity license to conduct that business. You also need a parking lot license as well.
Okay. Any additional questions, Mr. Zhao?
Yeah, it's because the lot is a 32 by 80. It's a big lot. If we don't mark the line, should be.
Okay, see, Mr. Zhao, what you're testifying now rather than asking questions. I need you to ask him a question. If you don't, that's okay. In a moment, you can present your case.
而家問個問題啫。
Okay, it's what question you ask is for the license, for the commercial license?
問個 inspector 啊。
Oh, the inspector, yeah, I need to know that why I need a commercial license for the personal parking.
Okay, I think he answered that already.
The
I think he
answer
answered
is
it.
Because we had the toll sign and the mark number on the
Okay,
lot.
let's do that. I think there's a better way. I think there's another way to approach this if we could. What's someone sharing the screen? What is that information?
It's not from us.
That's not me.
Okay, Nathaniel Williams. I'm
I
not
got
sure
it.
who. Okay.
Okay,
right.
because most time, because in China, some car park in the lot, we don't know who is.
Okay,
So-
let's do Mr. Zhao. How about this? And Ms. Scowls, you may have some questions for Mr. Zhao. If you don't, we'll ask him to present his case. And when he does that, I'm going to ask him to call his son as his witness.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll let him present his case first before I have any, I may have some questions based on his presentation.
Okay. Mr. Zhao, would you
Yeah.
like your son to be your witness in this case?
Yes,
Okay. What is his name?
Vincent Zhao.
Okay. Jason Zhao, come forward.
It's Vincent.
Vincent Zhao, come forward. You're blurry, so I need you to be more present in the screen.
I'm Blur.
Yeah, you're blurry. Okay. So would you raise your right hand, sir?
Sure.
Do you swear? Yes. Do you swear affirm the testimony you give or the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Zhao, what Mr. May New Zhao will need to do is ask you a question in English, then you respond. We're going to give you a little flexibility in terms of how you respond because of the nature of this communications here, okay?
Okay.
And so, Mr. Zhao, ask ask Vincent a question.
你要問我單詞，你問我個問題咁，我同佢講俾你。
Okay. He needs to ask you a question in English.
你要問英文啊？
Okay, it's
要用英文問我。
okay. The inspector said because we had the toll sign and the parking on the lot, because if we don't have the toll sign, we cannot call the toll and cannot call the this and ticket someone car who we don't know who parked.
Okay.
You
The
問我
question-
英文。
The question should be as short and simple as possible and refrain as much as possible from using non-English. Okay.
It's Chinese. 你問我點解有個toll sign？
Chairman Woodson, I'm beginning to think we may need an interpreter to
Yeah, I was trying to
effectuate
get it
due
right.
process in this matter. I think it may be
Yeah.
best to continue and request an interpreter.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. I crossed the line. Okay.
都訂個翻譯啊。
Let's do this.
We
Because
agree.
yeah, we're going to have to get an interpreter. Which language are you using?
Cantonese.
Cantonese. We need a Cantonese interpreter, Mr. Wade. So we're going to have to reschedule this and get a Cantonese interpreter.
Sorry about that.
Yep. No problem. We will reschedule. We will note it for today as continued and for a Cantonese interpreter. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Everyone have a good afternoon. Mr. Wallace,
Okay.
Thank
we'll have
you.
to have you come back
Thank
at a
Mr.
different
Wallace.
time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. You
Thank you.
excuse.
佢這樣。
Okay. Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Case number 13. Hearing appeal ending 3922, 3359 North Front Street, Lev Chrysler.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Board. Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Okay, is Lev Chrysler present?
I think he might be on the Samsung, but he's just trying to unmute.
I got it.
Okay.
Hello.
Lev Pressler. Yes.
Yes,
Okay, sir, your name?
Lev Chrysler.
Okay, so would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
thank you. Ready? Does the city have any witnesses, Ms. Carmody?
I do. I have Inspector Geraldine Brown on the call.
Okay. Ms. Brown? Okay, for some reason I'm not seeing her.
She's here. I think we're having some audio issues though.
Ms. Brown, if you make yourself known, you may need to speak in order for you. But we can't hear you. Okay. We can see you fine, but we can't hear you. Turn your volume up or your microphone on. Okay. Well, this is what, Mr. Wade, do we have other matters to deal with today?
She's next to Stacy Jones, who's on the call. She could use Stacy's computer, maybe.
Okay. Okay, she disappeared. So,
I think she went to the next cubicle. I'm assuming. I don't know.
well, let's do this. Do we have any other matters to be called today?
Yes, we have two more matters.
Okay, Ms. Carmody, we're going to have to pass this and come back to you.
Understood.
If you could give your witness a call. Mr. Presley, unfortunately, we're having some difficulty here with the audio. So we're going to have to go to another case and while they fix that. Understood?
Sir, I understand. I've been sitting on the phone for two hours.
I've been here as long as you've been here. So unfortunately, that's the nature of a Zoom call. We will come back to you as quickly as we can.
You want me to hold on?
Yes, sir. So just mute yourself and we'll come back to you as quickly as we can.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'll wait for you call. Come
Okay.
back to me, please.
All right. Mr. Wade, if you would call the next matter.
Case 23, hearing appeal ending 4016, 3621 Almond Street. David. Sound.
Okay, Ms. Jones, you please mute yourself. Yeah. Number 23, who's handling that matter?
That is me as well, Caitlin Carmody on behalf of the city.
Okay. Ms. Carmody, who's your inspector this time? Your witness?
Inspector Anthony Martin.
Inspector Martin, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. David Salonen. David Salonen. Okay, sir, you're muted if you don't mute yourself.
Yes, just managed to unmute myself. Hello.
Okay.
Good morning.
Now we'll need you to be staying stationary, sir, because when you move around, it makes things difficult for us. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Ms. Carmody, let's begin.
Thank you. Permission to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, Inspector. Can you please state your name for the record?
Anthony Martin,
And where are you currently employed?
Central East.
And what are some of your, is that with licenses and inspection, the department?
Yes, license and inspection, Central East, code enforcement.
Okay. And what are some of your responsibilities with licenses and inspection?
I answer service requests, houses, apartments, stores. They call in complaints and I go out to do the inspection.
Okay. And are you familiar with the property located at 3621 Almond Street?
Yes.
Okay. And how are you familiar with the property?
I got a service complaint in September. Went out about a week later. It was for high weeds and wrote the violation.
Okay. For the record, what is marked as City Exhibit C1 is a copy of the appellant's appeal application. I'm going to show you, Inspector, what is marked as City Exhibit C2, starting on page 7.
If you could magnify that a bit so we can read it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Zoom out just a tiny bit. Inspector Martin, what is this document?
It's a site violation notice.
Okay, and to whom was it issued?
It was issued to David Solomon,
Okay, and what is the date of this notice?
September 13th, 2023,
And what did you issue this violation notice for?
for exterior high weeds.
Okay. And is a site violation notice issued for a specific moment in time?
Is issued for exactly what I see that day.
Okay, so it's sort of like a ticket of sorts for a
Correct.
specific time? Okay. And did you take any photographs on this
Yep.
date?
Yes, they should be
Okay, I will show a zoomed in version of the photos, showing what is marked as City Exhibit C3, beginning on page 11. Is this the property in question?
Yes,
Okay, and is this a fair and accurate depiction of the property on the day you visited?
yes,
Okay, and I'm going to show City Exhibit C3 at page 12. Can you describe the conditions in this photograph?
yes. That's just the side angle of the high weeds in front of the property.
Okay, and are the weeds as shown in this photograph, does that constitute a code violation?
Yes,
Okay, and is it your opinion that the violation was validly written based on these conditions?
correct, because the site violation notice is for what I see that day when I'm out there inspecting.
Okay, so even if the weeds were cut after the violation was issued, that the notice that was given would still be valid in your opinion?
That's correct.
Okay, understood. I have no further questions at this time. I'll go ahead and offer for cross.
Okay, Mr. Solomon, do you have any cross-examination of the inspector?
Not exactly. My concern is really.
Okay, well, wait a minute. The way this works is that you get to cross-examine him based on his testimony. When Ms. Carmody completes her case, then you can put your case on, okay?
Okay,
So
then yes,
if-
no cross-examination.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Carmody, do you have any additional witnesses?
I have no additional witnesses. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, Mr. Solomon, your turn.
Thank you. Yeah, my concern or issue, or I guess frustration is probably the right word, is I received a warning surrounding this same issue and the violation notice that didn't appear to be the same thing on the same day. And the warning notice gave me an opportunity to remedy the situation. I actually enter and I come and go through the back door, so I actually don't see the front yard with the same kind of like routine, I don't know, that I guess many people do. So since no one had made me aware of it, again, I'm not looking for it. So I did address it immediately, but because of the nature of the communication, I think I just end up with a violation anyway. So it's,
okay.
I just, yeah, I don't feel like that's in the spirit of the regulation. I'm not overall leaving the yard, completely unattended, but I, obviously let it get to the point where it was, violation worthy. I was ready to correct it immediately.
Okay, Ms. Carmody, any cross-examination?
Just briefly. So, Mr. Slonin, so you said you received a warning before or around the same time you received this site violation notice?
Exactly the same day. I got 2 letters from license and inspection.
Did you file an appeal for both?
No, I only appealed the violation because the other one gave me the opportunity to correct the situation.
Okay.
Which I took.
No further questions.
Okay, anyone else have any questions of either Mr. Martin or Mr. Solomon? Okay, alrighty. So no further questions. Mr. Solomon, anything else you'd like to add that would be helpful to us?
Only I don't know, probably what anyone else would say. To me, $300 is not a trivial amount of money. So the violation fine is, will sting. And I would rather just take the lesson to take better attention to my front yard and not let it get like that, which
Okay.
I have.
Well, of course, this board doesn't have authority over the fine amount. That isn't what we are authorized to deal with. It's only whether or not the fine was the violation was properly written. But I have one question for you, sir. Do you live at that address?
I do. That is my primary residence. Like I said, I come and go through the back door.
And you don't routinely go to the front of your house to just generally inspect it for not just grass, but trash or anything else that may be happening?
Yeah, I would roughly once a week, right, for trash and recycling, and grab a mail, but I don't get much paper mail that's not it's not trash.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any final argument, Ms. Caitlin? I mean, Ms. Carmody. My apologies.
Okay. Just briefly, it's the city's position that this is a fairly straightforward high weeds site violation notice. This type of violation is akin to a ticket as a moment in time, as Inspector Martin had explained. If there were an additional warning or violation, the city is unaware of it at this time. And it's our position that only the instant SVN was appealed, and it's the city's position that it was validly issued. So we would just ask for a holding of city affirmed.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's no further questions regarding this, we will call the vote on HA 2023-004-016-3621 Almond Street. David Solonen, city affirmed.
Appeal sustained.
City affirmed.
Affirmed.
Okay, the vote is majority city affirmed. Mr. Solonen, you've lost your appeal. If you want to appeal this decision, you may. If you need information as to how to do that, check with the administrator's office and they can give you information as to how to appeal the decision of the board. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon. The inspectors, the witnesses are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wade, are we okay for 13 to go back to?
Inspector Brown? No, we can't hear. You want to call case 26 and then we can go back? Still can't
Okay,
hear.
let's do that then.
Case number 26, hearing appeal ending 4047, 6353 Jackson Street. Mabel Marrero.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Afternoon, Mr. Rudder. Do you have any witnesses today?
I would have as a witness Martin Higgins from Clip, but it doesn't look like we have an appellant.
Okay. Mabel Marrero. Or anyone present representing the interests of 6353 Jackson Street? 6353 Jackson Street. No one is responding. Mr. Wade, can you confirm service?
Just give me 1 second. Mr. Marrero listed 6353 Jackson as the appellant's address. Notice of this hearing was sent to 6353 Jackson on August 5th, 2024.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Petty, what time do you have?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Rauter, what is your pleasure?
City would ask that the board dismiss or deny the appeal for failing to appear.
All right. Thank you. We will now poll the board on HA-2023-004-047-6353 Jackson Street. Mabel Marrero, city affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That
Thank you.
resolves that matter. Thank you, sir. The witness is excused. Okay. Can we go back to 13? Can the witness use a different location? Ms. Carmody, is that possible?
I'm unsure. It seemed like before she was trying to use Stacy Jones's computer. I'm unsure if.
Is Ms. Jones a witness in this case?
Not in my case, no.
Is
But
she,
I believe they're working in the same vicinity. I'm not in the same building as them at the moment.
Okay, Mr. Wade, is there any way to speak anyone over there directly to find out what's going on?
I mean, they're both on the call.
Okay,
It's-
already.
I mean, there's.
Okay, well, let's call it again and see what we get.
We're calling case 13, hearing appeal ending 3922, 3359 North Front Street, Lev Chrysler.
Okay. Alrighty, Ms. Carmody, you're representing the city.
Yes, Chairman Woodson, Caitlin Carmen,
okay.
on behalf of the city.
Mr. Chrysler is present. I see his image. So I would ask if the inspector.
On your oh, it's in here on your mic. Can you take it out? We can
Okay,
hear you better without all the noise.
we can hear you now. We can hear you now, so you just need to focus the conversation. Okay. All right, and the name, your inspector, Ms. Carmody?
Inspector Geraldine Brown.
Ms. Geraldine Brown, if you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn.
Yes, hi.
Raise your right hand so you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay. Now, you do have, Ms. Carmody, just so that we don't have any confusion later, Ms. Stacy Jones is still on but muted. Is she a witness for this case?
No, not for my case.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Brown, if you would ask whoever's around you to take the conversation somewhere else because we can hear it.
Okay. Can you be quiet, please? Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Carmody, please proceed.
Okay, I will go ahead and share my screen. And zoom in momentarily. Okay. Inspector Brown, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Geraldine Brown.
And where are you currently employed?
City of Philadelphia License and Inspections Department.
Can you explain what some of your responsibilities are with the department?
Yes, I inspect vacant properties, usually from complaints, generated from complaints. Check to see if the complaints are valid.
Okay.
Or vacant and open or trash. Yes, that's it.
Okay. And are you familiar with the property located at 3259 North Front Street?
Yes.
And, excuse me, 3359, I misspoke, 3359 North Front Street.
Yes.
And how are you familiar with the property?
From an exterior inspection of the front, received a complaint.
Okay. For the record, City's Exhibit C1 is a copy of the appellant's appeal form. Just for the record, it does not appear that there is any reason listed for the appeal. So I will move to City's Exhibit C2 and zoom in. Inspector Brown, what is this document that we're looking at?
This here is a notice of violation.
And who was it issued to?
It was issued to the owner of 3359 North Front Street.
Okay, and was it issued to the service address from the Office of Property Assessment? Is that where the violation would be sent to?
This address listed here has a post office box.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just move briefly just to City's Exhibit C5. Just for the record, it's the City of Philadelphia Property Assessment printout page, just showing that the PO box to which the NOV was sent is the one provided by the appellant. Okay. So moving back to City's Exhibit C2, Inspector Brown, did you issue a violation to this property?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that violation for?
The violation was asking the owner to please obtain a vacant property license.
Okay. And what is the highlighted date of notice at the top of the?
The highlighted date is August 17th, 2023.
Okay. And did you take a photograph when you initially visited the property?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to show what is marked as City's Exhibit C3. Is this the front of the property on that day?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. And is it a fair and accurate depiction of the exterior when you visited?
Yes, it is.
Looking at this photo, could you please describe some of the conditions that led you to believe the property was vacant?
The front is chained. On the first floor, the exterior is chained, the gate is chained. On the second floor, there were no curtains, and on the left-hand side, when you're facing the property, there was a board, there were boards on the inside of the windows. The windows are there, but they were board, there's a board. It's boarded.
When you visited, were you able to speak to anybody or have anybody answer the door?
No, no, I knocked, but no one answered.
Okay. And has the owner of the properties provided any utility bills or anything to suggest that it's occupied?
No,
Okay.
no, nothing was provided.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Preisler, do you have any cross-examination of the witness?
Well, obviously, the witness doesn't know anything about
Well, sir,
my-
wait. Do you have a question for her based on her testimony? If you don't, that's okay.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
No, you have to listen to what I've said to you.
Okay,
This
sir.
is your opportunity to ask a question. If you don't have a question, that's okay. You can make a statement later when it's your turn to present your case. Do you have a question?
On what, how did you determine the place is vacant?
Okay, Ms. Brown, did you understand that question?
Yes, I determined that the property was vacant due to the chains on the outside. The property was chained, the exterior was chained, and that's it. It was chained, and that the windows, there was no curtains in the windows. And I
Okay.
can actually, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about a case prior to this, but okay.
No,
that's
you
it.
don't need to make reference to any other
Right.
case.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right,
Sorry.
Mr. President, any additional questions, sir?
The determination of what witness is wrong. We always.
Well, no,
check-
well, you get
Okay,
to
let me
present
fi-
your case in a
I'm so-
moment.
I'm sorry,
That's
sir.
it. That's okay. That's okay.
Let me
Uh,
finish what I'm saying.
No.
please.
You have to listen to me.
I
That's
am
okay.
listening.
No, I don't. Do you have any additional questions? If you don't, we will let the city complete presenting its case, and then you can present your case. Okay? As to why the building is not vacant. You can do that in a moment. Okay, Ms. Carmody, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, I do not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. President, this is your chance to tell us why the vacant property is not vacant.
Because I always chain the front because we had break-ins over there when I was sick a little while ago, but I used the second floor for my personal needs, and I had a back room. I use the back room and middle room to stay there once in a while. I don't rent the property. I own it, and I pay all the bills on that property. Now
Okay.
we're going to open a retail store up there, which we already started to do it. Excuse me. And we'll get the license for it too. But it's never been vacant, not for one day. I don't stay there every night, but I do stay there occasionally.
Okay. Ms. Carmody, do you have any cross-examination?
Just briefly, so Mr. Preisler, you said that you don't live at the property full-time?
No, I don't.
Okay, approximately how often would you say you use the property?
Maybe 3-4 times a week, sometimes once a week.
Okay,
I don't stay there. We are separated, me and my wife, so sometimes we have place to go. That's
Okay.
all.
Did you ever send any utility bills to the department to establish that you live there?
I did send a bill. First of all, it's the first time I put a violation on it, and I sent all the bills before, but I didn't do it this time because obviously somebody is keep on putting notices of violation. I have plenty of people who want to buy the property, but I think I just might call them flippers.
Okay,
They
wait,
just wanna-
Mr. Preisler, that's not responsive. The question was, did you send in any utility bills? Did you send
Yes, I did give them the utility bills the first time.
Okay, what first time are you referring to?
Let me see. The first time I got the complaint, let me see that. I don't remember, but I gotta look. Here's the bills are here too. First complaint, 1 second, I'll,
Okay, Mr. Price, did you submit your any bills with this appeal?
the first one, I didn't send any bills because
Okay.
I put
Did
the,
you send any bills with this appeal?
no, not the last time.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Carmen, any additional questions?
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Preisler? Okay. I would have a question. Mr. Preisler, are there any furnishings on the second floor of that building?
Very little. Right now, I don't have, I have to replace certain things. I had
Okay.
a break, I was sick and I had a break in and the junk is here all over the place and I took everything. But
Okay.
I'm going to replace it right now. First of all, we have the first floor. We're opening a retail store over there.
Okay,
Already
well, let me
said-
ask you this.
Yeah.
When was the last time the first floor was occupied by a business?
A long time ago. I don't use it, but we're gonna occupy it now.
Okay, when you say a long time ago, does it mean 5, 6, 10 years?
Maybe I have a license around 10 years ago. I had a
Okay.
business.
When is the last time that anyone has lived overnight every night in the second floor?
I was there most of the time, 3-4 times a week.
And then you aren't answering my question. When was the last time?
No, I don't rent it to anybody. No,
Okay. How long have you owned the building?
since 1973.
Okay. And since 1973, has anyone ever occupied the upstairs as a tenant?
A friend of mine stayed there for a while, but I don't do it anymore.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Is anyone else have any questions?
I have a quick question for Mr.
Yes.
Preisler. Mr. Preisler, you testified that you come to this building and stay periodically. Isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you have a kitchen on the second floor?
I had a kitchen, yeah. Yes. The kitchen on the second floor, yes.
Do you have an operating bathroom on the second floor?
Yes.
And do you prepare meals there every night or every day?
Sometimes I don't cook over there. Sometimes I'm too old and too lazy to do it now. So I'm sorry.
How many days a month do you stay at that property?
Maybe 10, 15 days. But right now I don't stay there because I'm doing something else. Still, we just put the downstairs a retail store. We're gonna buy a license for that store.
And so
Shortly.
you're staying someplace else now, is that correct?
No, I'm staying home. I got a house, but I come here over there and I stay when I feel like it or have a company or stuff like this. I have a life, still.
Thank you. No further questions.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Carmody, see, how do I ask this? What is the code definition for vacant property?
If I may refer to Inspector Brown, I think she may have
Yes.
a better answer for that.
Okay. Thank you. Inspector Brown, what is the code definition for vacant property? You're muted, ma'am, so you need to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
A vacant property is a property that has been vacant for 3 or more months. That's the information I have, yes.
Okay, so that's what the code says specifically.
I'll tell you exactly what it says. Hold on for
Yeah.
a second. I need to find it here. Okay. It has here the owner. Yes, it does say 3 or more months. It says the owner of a structure that lacks the habitable presence of human beings who have a legal right to be on the premises or at which substantial all lawful business or construction operations or residential occupancy has ceased within the past 3 months shall obtain a vacant structure license. That's
Okay,
what the
thank you.
code says.
Thank you. Did you check to see if there was any utilities at that location?
We tried to check for the water water usage, but we were unable to get information.
What about gas or electric?
No. we
Did
don't
you
use
check?
it. No, it did not. No.
Okay, all right, thank you. Does anyone else have anything? Okay, Mr. Preisler, any final comments that you would information you'd like to share with us before we vote?
We are, the utilities are on, and we have to replace the meter because the place been vandalized. That's the reason I'm not there for a couple of days. We're going to put the meter, and we got to put the electric meters in, and we're opening the facilities for business, and we are going to obtain a retail license for this purpose. But
Okay,
it's never, at any point, it's never been vacant for 3 or 4 months. I was always there, but I don't tell anybody my business, and nobody cares about me. I don't associate with the neighbors, okay?
okay,
Everybody runs his own life. Everybody entitled to his own life, and I don't tell anybody what I do, what I come or go, and that's about it.
okay.
Chair,
Ms.
I have a-
Carmody, do you have any final argument?
Mr. Chair, before that, I have a question,
Yes. Well,
if I may.
yeah.
Mr. Pressler, you said the meter was taken and or you have to replace it. How long has the property
I
been
am
without
trying-
electric meter?
Okay, sir. I called the electric company and we made an appointment a few months ago. They never showed up. We gotta do it again. But I just wanted to finish with occupancy matter so it doesn't get in my way.
Okay, my question is,
yes, sir.
in length of time, days, weeks, months, how long has the property been without electric meter?
We got electric there. We're not
You
using
just
it.
you just testified that you didn't have a meter.
Since sometime end of the winter.
The end of this past winter. So
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking March, April. You've been without a meter.
Maybe for a few months.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Ms. Carmody, any final argument?
Briefly, it's the city's position that Mr. Preisler has failed to provide any evidence to the contrary that this property is not vacant. The photos speak for themselves. It is gated, which is certainly not typical of occupied properties. And to the extent there is any use of the property, it does not appear to be habitual. And after hearing testimony, there's a possibility that this property would be currently unfit to be habitable at the moment. So based on the city's evidence and Inspector Brown's testimony, the city would request a finding of city affirmed.
Okay, thank you. We will now poll the board on HA-2023-003922 3359 North Front Street, Lev Pressler, City Affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Affirm.
Okay, thank you. As unanimous vote, City Affirmed, Mr. Pressler, you've lost your appeal. You may appeal our decision. If you need information as to how to do that, check with the office. That number is on the letter you received with our decision. And so that would be how you would follow through if you choose to do that. Thank you very much for your participation. Have a good afternoon, sir. The witness is excused. Ms. Carmody, thank you. Okay, Mr. Wade,
Chair,
yes, sir.
I'd like to recall one matter.
Yes.
This is matter 21. It was previously continued. We could strike that from the record. I believe an agreement was reached.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's call it in then.
Case 21, hearing appeal ending 4005, 4704 North Fifth Street, Legal QB LLC.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Thank you. May it please the board. Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia.
Yes.
After this was a case involving 4704 North Fifth Street, which is actually the business located in that space is the law firm itself. Pardon me, that's representing itself for the matter. We had continued it because I didn't receive the final communication from the law firm, but I did receive that after I logged off, which I forwarded to Mr. McSherry and Mr. Wade, indicating that they do agree to have the matter marked city affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
Okay. Is the counsel William Quinones present?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, so there's a settlement and agreement, city affirm, 90-day stay of enforcement.
That's right.
Okay, all right, let the record reflect that settlement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Wade?
That's all I have.
Okay, I noticed there's a, I think Mr. Toppin was on. I guess he's still, I'm not sure why he's still on. Mr. Toppin, your matter has been resolved.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Good. How you doing, Board Chair? Sherman Toppin. I'm working alongside. It just happened. I just didn't come out of the meeting.
Oh, okay. That's okay. This is a public hearing,
Yeah.
so you're welcome to stay as long as you like. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Is there anything else from anyone?
Thank you, Chair.
Yep. If there isn't, we will call this a wrap for today. Thank you very much. That would conclude our meeting for today.